When I think about all the amazing people who already give their time to CSS, there's 3 words that really come to mind and that we tend to think of in volunteer resources, and that's compassion, commitment, and purpose. That's what makes a CSS volunteer.
I did pet therapy for about 17 years before I started with Catholic Social Services. I went to their kickoff luncheon, Sign of Hope fundraiser, and I was so impressed with the professionalism and just the whole organization of the event that I thought this I would like to be a part of somehow. I go from room to room, from bedroom to bedroom, or we visit in the living room. And with me, the residents don't feel threatened. I'm not there to judge them. I'm not there to give them any rules, no boundaries, and they are very free in their speech. And that's one of the purposes of pet therapy, is to encourage conversation and to stimulate interactions between people. You can just feel the exchange of energy from one to the other, from the dog to the person and the person to the dog. And it's just nothing but positive feelings. I think I've learned a lot of respect for people, admiration for people. I've seen their strengths and their contributions to mankind.
Our volunteers can be involved in so many different opportunities with the agency. That's a really nice thing about our organization, is that there's so many different ministries and so many opportunities to get involved. I like to think of our volunteers as the lifeblood of our agency, because they're involved in every level, from the frontline service delivery all the way up to the executive levels.
I've been working at Caros, so I was volunteering for about 10 years, and I cook once a week. Truth be told, I'm a relatively poor cook, but I'm a great conversationalist. So what we do is we arrive. I have a cooking partner who we work together. We show up once a week, and there's a prescribed meal. One of the residents will say, "I want this to eat," and so we'll have that meal. And but the biggest part of it, of course, is that it's really spending time with the residents in the house. After so many years of being in relationship with people, then often the conversations are quite different. I've heard confessions. I've heard people talk about the pain of their lives. I've heard them talk about their families and loss and hope, and those are earned conversations. One of the gentlemen taught me to make bannock. I still don't make bannock very well, but I made bannock with him. And then he tells me the story of how he learned to make bannock over an open fire, and how his mother taught him to make bannock. And he was the eldest, and his mother died when he was 5, and he ended up felt he had to carry the weight of the family as the eldest. At the age of 5, he was the cook. Wow, how is that, eh? How is that? And here he is. I've become a little more forgiving, a little more generous, much more patient, much more patient.
Volunteers come to our agency from all different backgrounds, and they're of all ages. And although we look for certain skills and experience, it's really that desire that compels people to help others that we're looking for.
We got partnered with this family from Iraq, Mohammed and Nora, and their 4 kids.
Arabic culture is very much, you have to do the polite meet and have coffee and have tea, and the social part comes first. With Nora and Mohammed, their English is really quite good. He was a high school history teacher back home, and they're very literate, their whole family. So when we're there, they're very eager to talk grammar or talk about how to interact in Canadian society.
With getting a job, like I helped Mohammed with the paperwork, so I helped him fill out the application forms and submit them and so on. And then an online one And then one time when he got an interview,
and he wanted to practice, so I pretended I was the interviewer and he was the interviewee, and we were able to sort of go through, sort of these questions that tend to be asked at an interview, and he got the job.
I know Beth once said it's like the little things seem to matter the most sometimes, and just to help with some of those little things, particularly when they're new to this culture, it means a lot to them. And it's like we're not really doing much, or it feels that way, but it seems to make a big difference.